sales, we have this thing called situational fluency.
Yeah.
Which means you're in front of the customer, you're listening to the unspoken. And possibly when you're performing, right, you're also observing everybody in the room and assessing, right? You're doing a dipstick. How does that work for you, Anshu?
I think it's the essence of what we do. And it's one of those things that you learn over time as a comedian. Like you're pathetic at it in your first couple of years. Because what happens is you have a set of jokes, okay? And jokes normally take a lot of time for us to write. So just to give you a sense, a 1 hour show that we would do normally takes about 3 or 4 months of writing daily for 4 to 5 hours.
Seriously,
and that's when, so that's when you get a 1 hour show ready, which are jokes which are worth telling on stage, and people would laugh. So initially what happens is you don't have the skill set to understand the room. B, you don't have too many jokes. And C, you don't have the confidence to change the environment around you if something is going wrong, right? So if you go on stage and you start telling your jokes and you can see people are not laughing, you just keep telling your jokes, right? And over time, what you learn is how to read the room, how to read the laughter. Even there are different kinds of laughter. There's body movement happening, there's shift in the eyes, and it all becomes very automatic after some time. Right. Like I've done close to about 700 shows till now. And now it's something that just happens. I'm not even thinking that it's happening. I'm reading. I know exactly at what line, at what joke, somebody in the front few rows that we can see from stage, who like moved in the chair, who went like this, those kind of things. So you read them very carefully. And then to adapt to that is something that, frankly, stand-up comedy has taught me. This is something that I didn't see in corporate life. We've all been there enough number of times. You know how many times we would get up into a conference room, there are a bunch of colleagues or customers or partners who are sitting, and you have to give a presentation. You spend a lot of time making the presentation. You have some 30 odd slides, I don't know why. And then you start giving the presentation and people are not listening. They're waiting for coffee. Somebody's checking the phone. You lost the audience, but you would still finish your 60 minutes giving that presentation because, hey, that's the way it's done. In our case, it just changes very dramatically. So if I get up on stage, for example, there's a crowd sitting, I get up on stage, I tell a husband-wife joke and I don't get a response. Immediately my brain goes, that's not the kind of material they want. Wow. Right? They're not into this husband-wife thing. And at the back of my head, I'm changing my entire sets and bits that I have to do forward. So I change my material. We never change presentations, right? I have never seen in corporate life, and I tell them, I do these art of storytelling workshops, and I tell these people, I said, have you ever stopped the presentation and acknowledged that, hey, I've lost you guys? Okay, let me just stop. I've lost you guys. Let's just talk about things. Like, don't look at the slide. Tell me, where did I lose you? And let's try to kind of get back the room. Never happens. But that's something that, as in stand-up comedy is like life for us.
Very good. Very good. I mean, which means you're observing all the time and you're optimizing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Awesome. I did this thing on a Zoom show. I remember, I was doing this online Zoom show, and normally I would limit the audience to about 48 people so that, 2 windows of Zoom can go, right? 24 each. And then during the show, I would keep flipping just to see the reactions of everyone. And after the show, I generally just started talking to the audience, right? And we were just having a free chat because everybody was at home and stuff like that. And I told them this thing in some different context. I told them, I said, hey, it's easier to now observe you people because you're right in front of me on the screen, right? It's difficult being on stage with lights on you. And they didn't believe this whole idea. So I told them, I said, let me give you an example. And there was a joke that I had done during the show. I said, on that joke, now I'll go window by window and tell you how you guys reacted to it. Wow. And I went and pointed out, I said, you enjoyed, you didn't like the joke, you couldn't understand what I was saying. And I was right. And they were like, how did you do this? And I said, I don't know. It's just what we do now.
Very nice.